What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Simply Fitness podcast. I hope you're having a wonderful week. I know my week is amazing. This weather I'm having here in South Carolina, absolutely beautiful, 80 degrees. Super excited. Spring is here. It is in the air, the warmth. It's amazing. I just love it. I've been outside every single day. Plan on hitting a run after I record this, but got to get after it this week. So let's go. And with spring in mind, spring cleaning. This is the time of year where we're defrosted. This is the time of year where we go clean out our house, our car, office, garage, etc. We think about all these physical type places, but where are some other areas that you could think about spring cleaning your life? Uh, when's the last time you thought about cleaning up your phone, applications, the notifications, maybe some hobbies that you don't enjoy anymore or that are maybe consuming up way too much of your time? The subscriptions that you have, like how many times have you signed up for a million things? You have 15 different streaming services on your TV, but you really only watch one or two. What things are just cluttering up your life, taking up mental and physical space? This has been something I've been really thinking about over the last month, about going through my phone and just deleting apps, getting notifications, unsubscribing from emails, just drowning out, all these things that are taking up physical and mental energy from myself. So what is serving you right now towards your goals, and what maybe needs to go by the wayside? There might be things that, yes, are super amazing and you get pleasure out of it, but maybe aren't actually helping you get to where you want to be. Prime example is like games on your phone. Maybe you just, they're super fun. They're exciting. They're so much fun. But maybe they're taking up time from things like reading or putting yourself, starting that new business that you've been looking for, getting into that fitness routine, and just eating away time that you need to set aside for other things. So maybe it's time to uninstall, use that little bit of time for something else. That's just a big thing is like you have to replace it with something. So if you're going to be getting rid of things, you got to replace it with something else. So if you're taking, things out of your schedule, you have to replace them with something, or else those habits will just come right back into it. So again, like, find what is serving you, what is helping you get towards your goals, what maybe isn't, what's just taking up space, and just acknowledge it, be conscious of it, and make that choice. And I heard this amazing quote after I wrote this, I heard it: letting go is hard, but holding on is harder. So think about that. And going right into where we are in the year, it's spring. The first quarter of the year is over. We're a quarter of the way through the year, and this is the perfect time to really think about your goals. In January, what were your goals? What did you set for the year? How are you making progress on those? Are we right on track? Are we a little bit behind? Where are we? Evaluate what went right, what went wrong. Where do I need to improve? Are there timelines I have to adjust? Are there actions that I maybe need to change? And I'll take example, my goals. What was I looking to do at the beginning of the year? And one of the main things was starting this podcast. I'm right on track with my episodes target for the year, which is 40. Right now, I think we have 6 or 7 already. So we're right on track with hitting that goal for the year. Don't have to adjust anything. Maybe as time goes on, I plan on getting maybe some weeks getting 2 episodes out there, adding some interviews. I have these ideas in mind. Now is the perfect time to look at it, evaluate, and see what's coming on. I have a busy 2 weeks coming up. Super crazy. Going to be traveling a lot. Have people coming to visit me and my wife in our new home in South Carolina. So what do I need to do to make sure I'm staying on track with this goal that I set up for myself? And just working towards that quarter. Maybe it's not going so well. Another example, I wanted to, at the beginning of the year, lose weight, lose fat. Right now, and I have to look a little bit more at my progress, but right now I'm about the same. That doesn't mean I failed. No. What went right? I started tracking my calories, my workouts. I'm in a routine. I have a race coming up this weekend. I'm still moving forward in the direction. Is it 100% on track? No. But now I can make those adjustments and find, maybe that goal, now looking back, isn't really that important to me. But staying on track with my fitness, with my nutrition, I feel a lot better. I feel like I'm in a routine. I've been able to make some adjustments to other portions of my life because I have my fitness in check. It's making me mentally clearer to make those choices and to understand them a little bit better. So I'm super excited where I'm at. Is it exactly on target with my goal? Heck no. But I'm making those adjustments to my goal because that is no longer important. Even after 3 months, it's not that important to me anymore. So I made the adjustments. So think about it. This is the perfect time. Reevaluate your goals. Look at your progress. Because if we're not reevaluating them, how do we know what we're doing? December 31st is going to come around. You're going to be like, oh, I didn't come anywhere near my goal because we didn't look, we didn't evaluate. And I want 2025 to be the year you hit your goals. So let's get after it. Now today, I got a super exciting topic that we're really going to dive into, and it's fitness myths that won't disappear. These are questions that I get asked all the time, and they're not really questions. They're just thoughts and ideas that people continuously have about fitness. Things that is, for some reasons, for some people, very believed, and some of them sound really legit. Like they sound legit. The science, there's a little bit of science behind it. There's a little bit of logic behind it. So it must be true, which is not the case. The human body is not as logical as you would make it seem. And you'll find out. But we're going to break it down to why it's not true and what you can focus on a little bit differently within that myth to help you kind of change that mindset around it to help you get to where you want to be. So let's dive right into the first myth, my favorite myth, and you probably have heard it before. Carbs make you fat. No, that is 100% not true. Not true. And if you've listened to this podcast before, you know what the answer is going to be. Carbs don't inherently cause you to gain fat. They don't. But you know what does? Excess calories. And those excess calories can come from carbohydrates. They could come from fat. They could come from protein. They could come from alcohol. But carbohydrates are our body's main source of energy. They are very vital to just the functioning of your body. Now, most of us, and this is probably where this myth kind of comes into play, is a lot of our main Western diet can be carb heavy. Excess carbs are really easy to get because they taste good. They're in a lot of foods and everything. But so our body needs that. So it feels good. It feels energy, sugar, things like that. Bread. Those are all sources of carbohydrates that we tend to eat a lot with. But what is going to cause you to gain fat is eating over your maintenance calories. It's as simple as that. It doesn't matter if those calories are coming from fat, carbs, protein. It is going to eventually cause you to gain weight. It's as simple. It's the definition of a bulk. If you're eating over your maintenance calories, if your maintenance is here and you're eating here, you're going to gain weight over time. That's just how the body's going to work. And vice versa. If you're in a calorie deficit, you're going to lose weight. It's that simple. So instead of villainizing carbohydrates or fats or protein, because this can go either way, we got to focus on the balance of our diet. Eating whole foods at our maintenance calories is going to cause us to stay where we're at. And that doesn't mean cutting out all carbs. It doesn't mean cutting out all fat. It means finding the diet that works best for you and your body because everybody's different. Some people do much better on a higher carb diet and a lower fat, and vice versa. It's kind of dependent on you, and you got to experiment and try a few things. And maybe it's as simple as just changing the sources of which you are eating. Say you are eating a lot of carbs. Where are those carbs coming from? Evaluate it, look at it. Are they coming from fruit? Are they coming from rice? Are they coming from potatoes? Maybe some more whole ingredients there? Or are they coming from super high processed, chips, sugar, bread, things like that? Where are they coming from? Evaluate, understand, and maybe switch from some processed stuff into some less processed whole foods sources of carbohydrates. So let's get that one away. Another really common one that I hear all the time, especially when people want to start doing some type of fitness training, is can spot reduce fat. So what are some ab exercises? I really got to lose this belly fat. Doesn't work that way. I wish it did. I wish you could do 100 crunches and have a six pack, because then everyone would, and it'd be great, and everyone would be strong, everyone would be lean, but it doesn't work that way. You want your saddlebags to go. Squats ain't gonna help. They will, in the sense of the strength training is going to help you build muscle in that particular area, so it might give you more definition or tone, but it is not going to help you specifically burn fat in that area. Because you do exercise in that particular area does not equate to losing fat in that particular area. Everybody's body is different. If you are in a calorie deficit, your body is going to be burning fat. But where that fat is being taken from is very individualized. It is not the same for the same person. So, like, what I like to say to people is your body, where the first place you store it is the last place you're going to lose it. So for me, I tend to store fat a little bit more in that belly region. That's going to be the first place my body's going to store it. It's going to be the hardest and last place, and I'm going to lose it. For other people, it might be your legs. It might be your back. Everybody's different. So instead of focusing on specific exercises to target a specific area, focus more on your training, on how you feel, and the overall strength through that program. If you want to build tone and build definition and build strength within a particular body part, that's amazing. But doing leg exercises isn't going to cause your legs to lose fat. It's not. A calorie deficit is going to do that over time. But you can build great strength. You can build great muscle definition. So then when you do lose that fat, you have that muscle definition. You have that strength. You have that muscle. You have that shape that you're desiring for. So just keep that in mind. It's not going to help you lose fat in that particular area, but it will help you feel strong there. Now, going right back into that, another one, fat turns into muscle. That's two completely different tissues. Tissue in your body does not transform into a different form of tissue. It just doesn't work like that. A muscle fiber isn't going to turn into a fat cell. It is not. Those are different. So when we say we're losing fat, what we're doing is we're shrinking the fat cells in our body. So they're going from, say, this to this. That is what they're doing. We're removing fat from that cell. It is shrinking. Now, muscle is the same idea. When we're building muscle, we're doing damage, and the muscle is growing bigger and bigger because we caused some damage. So the body wants to repair it and wants to be ready to be able to handle the stress that's being put on it. So that's why if you continuously put stress on the body, you're going to build muscle in that area to accommodate it. That's why when you do a certain exercises for a certain amount of reps with a certain weight and you do it long enough, it's going to feel easier because the body is going to be more accommodating to said source. A great example of this is if you go from maybe one activity to a completely different activity. I like to say like playing sports. Like you go and play, there's a game of pickup basketball and you haven't played in a long time. You're going to be using muscles that you haven't used, even if you go to the gym regularly, and you have been. But you're going to feel it in places that you don't train, because your body's just not used to that type of stress within those muscles that you're using to play basketball. It's that way. But at the end of the day, you're not going to be converting tissue into other tissue. It doesn't work like that. Our body will not just magically transform your belly fat into a six-pack. It doesn't work. The six-pack is already there. You just cover it up with the layer of fat, and that's what we're looking to remove. Same thing on wherever your body stores that fat. So when we're thinking about it this way, we want to look at it as, what is your goal? Are you trying to build that muscle? Are you trying to lose that fat? Are you trying to work on just general wellness? And build a program around that. Don't focus on trying to switch fat to muscle or whatever it may be. Focus on, what is your goal? What is your, right now, for the next X amount of time, what is your goal? Is it to run a marathon? Is it to, do a powerlifting meet? What is that goal? Think about it. Create a program around it and go from there. The body will adapt to that said stretch if a program is built around that goal. Now, everyone's a little bit different, and there's a lot of nuance when it comes to building programs for individuals, but there are general principles that are going to work for that, but you got to know your goal in order to do that. Oh, this is again another good one. We got some great myths here, because there's just some things that I just hear all the time. And I think it's so wild that we're moving past some, but some are still very out there. And this is a common one. Sweating means you're burning fat. I love this. This is like let's put the sweatband on. I'm sweating. Sweet sweat, baby. Let's go. No. Sweat does not equal burning fat. Sweat means your body is trying to cool down. You're overheating. You go into a sauna. You're not going into the sauna to burn fat. If you are, let's switch it up. There are way more benefits to a sauna than burning fat, because that's not even one of them. So get that off your list. Let's do some research. Look into saunas. They're amazing. But it is not a meter for fat loss. It's not a meter, too, of working hard. You don't just sweat because you're working hard. It is 80 plus degrees outside right now. If I go outside, I'm going to start sweating a little bit. It ain't because I'm working hard. It's just because it's hot and my body's trying to cool off and it's trying to keep me at a certain temperature, because that's what our body does. Our body does not want to change. It wants to hold steady, and it wants us to stay at that temperature for a reason. It's the same thing when you have a fever. Your body starts to sweat because it wants to cool down. It doesn't want to be at that temperature. Your body has certain functions and that are temperature dependent. And if your body can't hold on to that temperature, it is not good. That's why fevers are bad. So sweating does not mean that you're working harder. It does not mean you're burning more fat. It just means you're cooling down. So we got to work past this, and it's not a large group of people, but there's just some of us who think that we have to grind ourselves into a ground in order to see fitness process. And yes, working hard is massively important. And there's other people on the other end of the spectrum that don't work hard enough in the gym. And there's other people who work way too hard. And you have to know that sweating does not equal working hard. But then how do we measure that we're working hard enough and not overworking ourselves or underworking ourselves? First thing, strength training. How many reps do you feel like you have left in the tank? If the answer is more than one to two, you're working not hard enough. Work harder. If you have more than 1 to 2 reps in the tank, that was too easy. Now, vice versa, you were barely able to get it done, or you needed to get 8 done and you got 6 done. That weight or how much volume you're doing was maybe a little too much for what your body's ready for, and you have to accommodate for that. Now, maybe you're on a run. How hard did it feel? Were you able to talk through it? Did it feel really, really challenging? 1 to 10? Did it feel light? So you just got to ask yourself those questions and to see how that feels. And, cardio, I think, is a little bit harder to grasp where that is. That's where tracking mile times, intensities, if you're on the treadmill, speed, watts, mets, if you're on an elliptical or bike, to be able to just know, okay, how did that feel at that intensity? So you can measure your intensity and know, okay, that felt really, really hard. Okay, I was doing a 10-minute mile. Okay, maybe I need to do 11, 12. That's more appropriate because that is what's going to help you see the results, not the sweat, not grinding yourself into the ground, not walking out of the gym and feeling like, I don't feel like I did anything, or I could do this forever. I could do this for hours. No, that's not how we're going to see progress, guys. That's how we're going to get hurt. That's how we're going to stay where we're at and just have to do a crap ton of laundry because we're sweating like pigs. So stop buying sweet sweat. It's not smart. Don't do it. Now continue on with the lifting. Lifting makes you bulky. No, it doesn't. Lifting doesn't inherently do that. Lifting and strength training in general is going to help you build lean muscle. That is correct. That thought that you will build muscle doing strength training, yes, at some point. It will also help you build strength. It'll help you boost your metabolism, but you are not going to be Arnold Schwarzenegger in 1 week. That is real. Where this myth kind of maybe even irks me a little bit is that the process of which people think that this is going to be like that. And it's not true. Like, give me a month, and you can measure everything: bicep, chest, back, stomach, legs. You can get circumferences everywhere. You are not going to be putting on an incredible amount of mass within a month. And that's really what people think is going to happen. And it's just not true. You have to put a tremendous amount of stress on the body to be able continuously to build muscle. People work really, really, really hard and consistently for months and years and decades in order to put on the muscle mass that you are thinking you're going to put on in a month. So it's not going to make you bulky. It's just going to make you strong as hell, and it's going to make you feel good. So put on, lift a few weights because it's going to be, it could, next to that and cardio, exercise in general, those two things are what's going to make you feel absolutely amazing and feel invincible. So now, if you do have this fear, you think your muscle is going to make you super bulky, see how your body responds. Everybody is different. And I will give it that I've had clients that responded really well to certain exercises. When they did quad dominant exercises, their legs grew, especially if they did it consistently over time. Okay. And they did not like that. That's fine. We're still going to do some quad dominant exercise, but maybe we do 1 instead of 3. Maybe we adjust those into some other areas. That's okay. We just have to know how do we respond? And I'm going to tell you, you're most likely not going to respond like that small group, but everybody's a little bit different. So make adjustments, have a program, track, because that's how you're going to know what is the progress that you are or are not making. And you'll find out pretty quickly within that. And, take the progress pictures, take the circumferences. If there are particular areas that you are afraid you might get a little bulky from, don't avoid them, but just look, make adjustments, see how it makes you feel. If you're like, I don't really want broad shoulders, okay, there's more than just the lateral delt. There's more than that. You got your front, you got your rear, you got your upper back. Make adjustments to it to get you to where you want to be and still build strength without having to have, a crazy amount of volume in there. So just keep that in the back of your mind that it's not going to make you bulky. It's not. This is a new one. And I've done this myth one before, and this is one of the new ones that I've been seeing all over the internet. It is your nutrition influencer's favorite reel that they're making right now. It's their favorite thing to talk about. It's a big thing. Big, 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 big thing. Seed oils. And they are so bad for you. Wrong. So far, that's not true. There have not been studies that show negative effects of seed oils on humans. And the reason that I say this is wrong is because it's my belief that they're pointing the blame to something that is not the problem. It isn't inherently the seed oils that is the problem with it. So instead of picking the small little thing that is shown to not have any issues. This goes the same thing with artificial sweeteners, with diet soda. There are bigger problems in nutrition than focusing on eliminating seed oils and diet sodas, because that diet soda is definitely better than a regular soda. But that's not the issue at hand. So why? Why seed oils? Because where seed oils are seen are probably foods that you shouldn't be eating regularly, period. They tend to be in very highly processed, calorie dense, highly palatable foods that happen to have seed oils. So it is not, again, it is not the seed oils that the problem. It's the food in which have the seed oils. It's the foods. It's the whole thing. It's the whole thing. If you took seed oils out of that product, it doesn't make it healthier. It doesn't. So then why are we focused on that little thing? It goes back to like a few episodes ago where I was talking about supplements, and so it's like the top of the pyramid. It's a little square at the top. But like what about the base? What about the the foundation of nutrition? So again, if you're eating a balanced whole food diet, you're probably getting little to none seed oils in your diet already. So then why are we going to worry about it? Why are we going to make a big deal about it? You're probably more likely to be cooking with avocado oil or olive oil already. Sure, you might be using some canola oil for something, but otherwise, probably not using much of seed oil to begin with. So why are we worried about it? Why is that such a big thing? It's I I like to think about it. It's just trying to distract you. Like, hey, look over here. As the big the actual solution is right here. It's just a distraction. It's just distracting you from what really matters in your diet. And I'll get off my soapbox now for that. But again, it all goes back. Whole foods. Whole foods. Less processed, the better. If you stick to that, you're already way ahead of the game. Take away from, more processed foods, and you're gonna be good. You're gonna be good. Don't fall for other things just because they say they don't have seed oils. That's gonna be the new thing that's gonna be on products now. It doesn't necessarily mean it's healthier. It doesn't. So don't fall for that trap. There's a new trap that they're setting for us. They're looking for ways to market the food to get you to buy it, to make you think that it's healthier. Oh, but by the way, you just ate that whole bag, so now you have to go to get another one. You ate that one. You have to go get another one, and another one, and another one, and another one. And that's where the cycle begins. You're always buying it. You're always buying it. You're always buying it. And you keep spending money and making them money. They're it it they're very good at it. They're very good at it. Food scientists. It's crazy. But that's not the topic. The myth. The myth. So remember, do your own research. If there is something you hear about any topic, anything whatsoever, but specifically fitness and nutrition, especially with the access to knowledge and information that we have today, it is really, really easy for somebody to say something, make it sound somewhat believable with just a few nuggets of actual fact, but to sway it in a maybe not so factual way. So don't just trust everything you hear. If something does sound like, okay, this sounds pretty legit and sounds pretty good, let me do my own research. You can find the research studies. You can find a lot of information out there and see what it says. Come up with your own conclusions. If you have questions, come talk to me. But again, don't just trust me. Don't trust every person on TikTok or Instagram, YouTube, whatever it may be. Like, you need to decide for yourself if that makes sense for you, and and is it logical, and does research actually prove that that's true? Because Anybody can say anything on the internet, and not everyone's out there for your best interest. Even if they say they are, they might not be, because they don't know you. Only you know you. So you got to do that information for yourself and what is going to be best for your body, for your goals, for your nutrition, for your health. Let's take control of it. Let's take control. Let's get after it. Because we got goals. Again, first quarter is done. We got 3 more to make 2025 the absolute best. So please, guys, I've been appreciating the emails, the messages. Please keep sending them my way. Ask me the questions. This is helping making the podcast better. This is helping you guys get closer to your goals. I answer every single question, every single DM. So please, show notes. You'll find my email. You'll find my Instagram. Guys, let's just keep moving forward, taking the steps towards our goals, and make 2025 our best year yet. Have an amazing day. I'll see you guys next week. Peace.